Naroditsky, the streamer, the great chess player, against Magnus Carlsen, the grandmaster, the highest rated player of all time, the father. He has the black pieces in this one.
Yeah, two very multi-talented players here. Magnus starting with the Sicilian defense. That normally shows that he's up for a real scrap, a real fight. These two have a lot of history. They've played hundreds of bullet games against each other, some blitz games too. Daniel Naroditsky, popular commentator, chess personality. He's played the open Sicilian now, bringing all of his pieces out. This is a very old variation, actually, where you trade off pieces with white, you get ready to push your pawn forward in the center and create a nice square for your pieces. Often the white queen comes out as well in the near future to attack loose pawns. Naroditsky using some opening theory here to get Magnus into a difficult to win middle game, I'm going to say. Nice start for Daniel Naroditsky here, I would say, with the white pieces.
Daniel Naroditsky, of course, from the US. He is 30 years old, a grandmaster that has become known over the last few years, mostly for commentating, for streaming. He has 3 points in the Champions Chess Tour. He scored a 5th place in game week 4. 9 points there, and definitely someone who can win Title Tuesday. He's done that 4 times, looking for his 5th Title Tuesday victory, but it's going to be super tough to get that today because all the top guys have signed up. All the top guys are playing. Magnus is one of them.
Yeah, but this format does suit Naroditsky on paper, at least. He is the type of player who will not be afraid to go for the clock, go for time, super quick on the mouse. Very, very practical. He's got lots of tricks up his sleeve. He's really going for Magnus here as well. Rook takes knight is a potential sacrifice. If Witty Alien were playing, he would no doubt go for that in the near future, just to try and get the black king, which is stuck in no man's land. It's stuck in 2 minds. If it castles towards this flank, you're only finding yourself castling into the storm, into the firing line. If you go the other way, you're so open, you lack protection. Magnus, what is he going to do? He needs the queens off this board. But Daniel Naroditsky is not going to make it easy for him. The eval bar says level, but in practical terms, this is such a nice position to play for white, as long as the queens remain on. A queen trade, just like earlier, and this could turn. Although a queen trade now would come at the cost of a pawn for black, and he doesn't go for it. If the white rook had taken a pawn, the black knight would have stepped back and kept it locked in. That would have been a blunder for Naroditsky. Instead, the queens do come off, and now Magnus, using his rook to defend a pawn, will put his king in the center and try to outplay Naroditsky in an endgame.
Both of these players looking to go up to 4 out of 4. Hans Niemann is already in a winning position in round 4, but he lost in round 3. Hans Niemann, he has already taken a loss this week. He won game week 5. What will happen to Hans Niemann in game week 6? Magnus Carlsen is definitely hungry to win game week 6 and take his first Title Tuesday victory for his little son, born on September 27th.
Ooh, and a flashy move just as we jump back into the chess. This is not a blunder, it's not a mouse slip, it is a knight sacrifice. But if the knight is taken by a pawn, the white pawn will recapture, and there'll be a discovered check against the black king. That would give the white pawn time to not only take that pawn, but take the bishop afterwards. And that would lead to a very level-looking endgame. This knight is menacing, it's threatening some forks, it's threatening this pawn as well. So Magnus might be inclined to take that piece off the board. You don't want to blunder knight forks, that's the rule. That's rule 101 of blitz chess. Knights are so tricky. And there's another fork over on this side as well. Knight into this square with a check would profit from a pin against the black rook. Magnus might just be forced to take this knight off, maybe even with the bishop. But that's a beautiful move from Naroditsky. That has slowed Magnus right down and asked some very difficult questions.
These two have played a lot against each other online, correct, David?
So many times, I've lost count. During the pandemic, I pretty much spent 6 months watching these guys play bullet every night. Oh, and it's a blunder from Magnus Carlsen. Just as we said it, I mentioned that was a fork against the king and against the rook due to a pin. Magnus's first blunder as a father. And Naroditsky, we talked about how they've played a lot. He has beaten Magnus a lot in bullet. But now he needs to do it again. He should be getting this job done. He's got so much time, under 3 minutes now. Should be enough. Rook versus bishop, that is the material advantage for him. But there are open lines, that's the key. The white rook is going to infiltrate soon. Magnus is in huge trouble.
What is the big issue for Magnus right now?
It's material. His bishop, long-term, will not compete against a white rook. If the black rook ever gets traded for one of white's rooks, it's going to be easy for Magnus. He'll use his rook to gobble up all the black pawns. So for Magnus, it's keeping his rook on the board, keeping all his pawns protected, trying to keep the white rooks out. But all of those together, it's going to be so tough. So tough. If anyone can do it, it's Magnus Carlsen. But I think Naroditsky wins this 9 times out of 10.
It's trouble for Magnus Carlsen here in round 4. Daniel Naroditsky right now looking like the one who will go up to 4 out of 4. Hikaru Nakamura also has that chance. He is massively better right now with the black pieces in his game. Ali Reza Firouzja in a winning position with the white pieces. Magnus Carlsen, ooh, can he afford to lose this one? He will fall behind. Trouble for the world number 1.
Big trouble. Magnus has lost another pawn. The white rook is attacked, but it can go and grab this pawn on the edge of the board. He does something else here, Naroditsky. He's trying to catch the black bishop in a pin. So I'm now expecting him to move his king forward, not allow any checks from the black rook. And as we mentioned, a rook trade will be fatal for black. Magnus now in huge trouble. The white king does indeed move. The problem is this bishop is stuck. It's going to get hit. It will have to give way, and a rook trade is almost guaranteed. There we go. Rook's coming off the board. Magnus relying on a fortress. We know what he thinks about those, but it's not going to be enough. There's too many pawns on this board for black to have any real hope of saving this game. The white pawns are going to start advancing as well, create a pass pawn. The black bishop is so one-dimensional. The white rook is so flexible, versatile.
I see the chat speculating if it was a mouse slip by Magnus, the blunder.
No, I don't think so, unfortunately. He moved his rook, which dealt with one threat. It dealt with 2 threats, actually. It protected a pawn, got out of one fork. He just didn't look at the other fork on the other side of the board. As normally, I like to give the benefit of the doubt to these top players, but I do think that was just a moment of blindness by Magnus, and there we go. It is a result. Daniel Naroditsky takes down the world number 1.
Wow, that's a devastating defeat for Magnus